أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. Dear audience, Assalamu alaikum. Today's talk is another talk on the topic of the Samat or listening to the Quran Hakim, Kitabullah, and seeking further guidance from the Kitab-e-Aziz with the permission of the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Today I am going to seek references from the two verses of the Kitabullah. Verse number 285 of Surah Al-Baqarah and verse number 73 of Surah Al-Furqan. I am going to commence today's talk with the permission of the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with the recitation of the verse number 285 of the Surah Al-Baqarah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is speaking here. Amana ar-rasulu bima unzila ilayhi min rabbihi wal mu'minun. Kullun amana billahi wa malaikatihi wa kutubihi wa rusulihi. La nufarriku bayna ahadim min rusulihi. وقالوا سمعنا وأطعنا غفرانك ربنا وإليك المصير. Meaning, the apostle and the believers with him believe in what has been bestowed upon him from on high by his sustainer. They all believe in God and his angels and his revelations and his apostles, making no distinction between any of his apostles, and they say, "We have heard and we pay heed. Grant us your forgiveness, O our sustainer, for with you is all journeys end." Let us concentrate on this verse of the Quran Hakim, Kitabullah, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is addressing آمن الرسول بما أنزل إليه من ربه, that the apostle or the messenger attains faith. He believes in what their sustainer, their Rabb, has bestowed on him. Meaning, a prophet attains faith and he believes in what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has revealed unto him, the Rabb has revealed unto him. Wal mu'minun, and also the believers who follow that apostle, they all of them they believe in this Kitabullah or the revealed knowledge or the previous scriptures which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has revealed. So the apostle and all the believers, they attain faith on this book or the revealed knowledge which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reveals unto the apostle. Kullun amana billahi kullun amana billahi wa malaikatihi wa kutubihi wa rusulihi. All of them, meaning the apostle and the believers, all of them, they do believe and attain faith on Allah and his angels and his all revealed books and all of his apostles. La nufarriku bayna ahadim mir rusuli, and they do not make any distinction or discrimination amongst his apostles or his messengers or prophets. Waqalu samena wa atana, and they further say and they further affirm that we have listened, we have understood, we have comprehended this messages of the Kitab-e-Aziz. We have listened, we have comprehended, and we have understood this message. Wa'atana, and we have obeyed, we have paid heed to these messages of the Kitab-e-Aziz. Atana, or following the commandments, is also inclusive of the word samena. Someone who hears, he must follow the commandments of the Kitab-e-Aziz. The someone who understands, comprehends, and believes on the message of the Kitabullah, then he must obey the commandments of the Kitab-e-Aziz. Samena is not complete without ata'na, means the ata'at is included in the word samat, means if someone orders, like a father asks son to bring him a glass of water, and the son says, I have heard, but he doesn't bring him the glass of water, it means he hasn't listened because he is not following the commandments or the orders of his father. So the samat and atat, they go side by side. They are not two separate entities. They go side by side. First of all, the hearing comes, listening comes, comprehension and understanding comes, and it must be followed, and it must be reflected in the actions of that person, that he has really understood and comprehended the message of the Kitab-e-Aziz. And they further say, the verse continues, Gufranaka Rabbana wa ilaykal masir, that O our Rabb, O our sustainer, they make a supplication to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that grant us your forgiveness, and indeed towards you all journeys end. Now I'm moving to Surah Al-Furqan, which is the 25th chapter of the Kitab-e-Aziz, and I would seek guidance from the verse number 73 of the Surah Al-Furqan. In the closing verses of the Surah Al-Furqan, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has described the properties, the characteristics and the qualities of the Ibadur Rahman, the individuals who say that we are the abd of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we are the slaves of the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In this particular verse number 73, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given a very important message to anyone who wants to become an abd of the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَالَّذِينَ إِذَا ذُكِّرُوا بِآيَاتِ رَبِّهِمْ لَمْ يَخِرُّوا عَلَيْهَا سُمًّا وَعُمْيَانًا, and who, whenever they are reminded of their sustainers' messages, do not throw themselves upon them as if deaf and blind. Let us concentrate. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is addressing here that he is describing the qualities, the properties and the characteristics of the Ibadur Rahman. وَالَّذِينَ إِذَا ذُكِّرُوا بِآيَاتِ رَبِّهِمْ, that those individuals, whenever it happens that the verses of their sustainer reach them, and they are reminded of the verses of the Kitabullah, the messages of the Kitab-e-Aziz, the ayat of the Quran-e-Hakim, lam yakhirru alayha summan wa umyana, so they do not throw themselves, they do not prostrate in themselves upon these verses, on these messages, as if they are deaf and blind. If the Quran-e-Hakim is a living miracle, and we need to apply the message of the Kitabullah onto our practices, only then we can get a practical meaning out of it. So if we see that in every prayer we pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Iyyaka na'budu, that you are the only one to whom we are becoming an abd, a slave, we are worshipping you alone. So this is a very important affirmation, a very important pledge which every Muslim is making in each of his prayer. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that if the people who are the abd of the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who are the ibad of the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or slaves of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or the true worshippers of the God, who are the true worshippers of the God. So whenever the messages of the Kitab-e-Aziz, Kitabullah, Furqan-e-Hamid, they reach them, or they are reminded of the message of the Kitab-e-Aziz, they do not throw themselves with them. They do not just prostrate without as if they are deaf and blind, meaning without understanding the true messages, without comprehending the true meaning, they do not prostrate, they do not throw themselves on the messages of the Kitab Allah, Furqan Hamid, Kitab Aziz. So, with this, I am concluding today's talk with two very important messages, that samat and atat, meaning listening and obedience, they go side by side. They are not two separate entities. So whenever someone who understands and comprehends the message of the Kitab Aziz, it must be followed by a change in practice. It must be followed by obedience. And secondly, if we want to become an abd of the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if we are really true of the pledge which we make in each of our prayer, then we should make a habit of understanding the Kitabullah, trying to comprehend the messages of the Kitab Aziz. Because in the verse number 73 of Surah Al-Furqan, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has categorically stated that my ibad, the people who say that we worship you alone, we are the slaves of you alone. What are their qualities? They do not prostrate, they do not throw themselves even to the verses of the Kitab Aziz without having a true knowledge. They do not throw themselves as if they are spiritually deaf and blind. I seek Allah's forgiveness if there's any shortcoming in the delivery of the message. ربنا لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا وأخطأنا ربنا ولا تحمل علينا إسرا كما حملته على الذين من قبلنا ربنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين. جزاكم الله خير.